Hello everyone, Just Goran here and welcome back to another Planet Zoo real life inspiration video. Today we are looking at the Sloth Bear, still in anticipation of the Eurasian Animal Pack coming next week. So yeah, let's look at this adorable, floofy little fella. And the first zoo that we're going to be looking at today is Safaripark Beekse Bergen, of course. Had to start with the one that I'm most familiar with, and perhaps you as well if you have seen all of the Beekse Bergen content on this channel already. But yeah, we've got a really cool enclosure over here, with the main feature being this big bridge over top that children can climb through, and adults too, why not? You can climb through there to be above the bears. It's the bear bridge. It's really cool. We also got this small little moat around. You can see barrier wise there's not a very strong barrier requirement or anything. There is some hot wire around to prevent the bears from actually getting up to the edge over here and into that moat. But yeah, no giant walls or anything like that really needed. I suppose they aren't really the best escape artists, which is totally awesome for us because that means we can make some really cool immersive enclosures with really open views, which I'm always a huge fan of. Anyway, over here is another little glass viewing area where you can also get close up to an area you might be familiar with if you've seen the Asian small-clawed otter video, because yes, this is a mixed habitat with the sloth bear, the Asian small-clawed otter, and up until recently the Corsac fox. So over here you can see the bears and the otters just chilling, having a great time. Really cute, really nice mix. Sloth bears are very good for species mixes, so I hope that when the DLC comes out we'll see some awesome interspecies enrichment there as well. But yeah, over here on the bear bridge we can get a peek at the backstage as well. You can see the small gate for the otters and then a bigger gate for the bears themselves. I think they used to have 3 and now they have 2 if I'm not mistaken, and these are all males, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Beekse Bergen. So one more thing to see over here is a bit of enrichment, a very cute little video right there, but that's where we're going to leave it for the Beekse Bergen and move on to the next zoo, which is going to be the Zoo of Münster, where we are first checking out this indoor area where you can see a skeleton of the cave bear, which is an extinct species of bear. Really cool. And we also got this awesome painting on the window. We got this measuring thing measuring all the different bears of the world. You can see the sloth bears using their claws to go into the termite mounds over there. There's some other cool education with different kinds of bears on like a spinning thing. And yeah, here you can see the indoor enclosure of the bears. Kind of a common area in the middle, I think, and some separate areas in the back. Here, once again, all the bears of the world painted on the wall right there. Really cool. And then there's more indoor holding for them over here. They definitely have a lot more indoor holding than the Beekse Bergen does. I think that's also because this is all on show for the public, so you want to make it seem all a bit more fancy and extravagant and spacious for the visitor, so that they get a good impression of how you're taking care of the animal, I guess. But yeah, over here we've got the outdoor enclosures, and there's a lot to see over here as well. Got this little viewing deck with some educational signage, but also the enclosure over here. We can see this does have a lot of steep walls surrounding it, which Beekse Bergen technically also had in the back. But yeah, also over here we've got a bit of a moat, lots of climbing frames, actually a lot more than the Beekse Bergen does. We can see the trees do have some like hot grass on them to prevent the bears from climbing into the trees. We can see kind of a cave underneath there. That's really cool. But yeah, overall really cool looking enclosure, I would say. And this is one of several. So on this side of the wall over here we have another outdoor enclosure with a really beautiful looking waterfall right there. That just looks absolutely awesome. Yeah, even more climbing frames, caves, and I'm pretty sure that this enclosure over here is actually a mixed enclosure as well. Yes, you can see right over there, the Rothund. Rothund. That is a doll. So this is a mixed enclosure with the sloth bear and the doll, which is really cool. Yeah, as we'll see with the next enclosure coming up as well, I guess sloth bears mix very well with canids, because yeah, we have the Corsac fox, now the doll, and the next enclosure will have another canid, but we'll see that when we get to it, which is actually right about now, because this is the last I have to show you of Münster. So let's go to the last zoo, where we'll be spending quite a bit, because this enclosure over here at Naturzoo Rheine is absolutely huge. This is like, I feel like one of their most proudest areas because of how much effort has been put into it. Yeah, we got this beautifully lush enclosure over here with some climbing frames, with some other stuff. And yeah, once again, the moat in the front here really giving us a very open view into this enclosure. The greenery in the back making it look super naturalistic and yeah, just really nice. And there's education all over the place. We just saw some an anatomy of bears. Over here we can see the entrance, the staff entrance of this exhibit, and we can see a sloth bear roaming around over there near its backstage. Yeah, you get another view into the enclosure from a different angle. You can see it's actually quite spacious. It goes quite deep. Here we have a backstage peak, not as fancy as the one at Münster, but still, yeah, just a decent backstage for the bears, I suppose. It is a quite nice looking building. I do like the stone and stuff that's used. Over here, more education about the different bears of the world, just like in Münster. I don't know why this is done with sloth bears so much. I mean, I guess my sample size isn't that big. But yeah, over there we could see running away the canid of this enclosure, which is a European golden jackal. So this is a mixed enclosure. Both these enclosures were, by the way. The other one we just saw also had the jackals in it. Yeah, very cool little animal over there to be together with the sloth bears. And I suppose that all goes very well. So over here we got a really nice fence, by the way. Kind of reminds me of the fence that we saw at Allwetterzoo. Their polar bear exhibit had a very similar type fence. It's electrified, and the top is kind of like spiky, so the bears can't really climb over it at all. And it looks very kind of clean, I suppose. Over here we've got a small building with another viewing area into the enclosure, but also a bunch of insect terrariums. We've got an ant enclosure, some kind of beetle or cockroach, all sorts of stuff. And the reason for that is, well, the sign over here explains it, and I do love that this pun kind of transcends all languages. We've got the Bear Fact dinner right over there, which, yeah, I love that pun. It works in German, it works in Dutch, it works in English pretty well. So that's just a solid pun right there. And yeah, you got another view into the enclosure from this side, another one of those nice, cool looking climbing frames, a lot more greenery and lushness. There's so many little things around this enclosure. I love this wooden fence over here at the front as well. It's just, yeah, so much effort has been put into this area, and it's super, super cool. I mean, the sloth bears aren't that common in zoos. I mean, I've only seen them in 3 zoos. I think there's 7 holders in Europe, I'm pretty sure. So it would make sense that a zoo would be pretty proud to have a species like this, especially Naturzoo Rheine isn't that big of a zoo. They're kind of like a medium-sized zoo. They don't have elephants or stuff like that. They really kind of highlight the smaller species like this really well. They do that very well. So yeah, really cool. Over here we can kind of see what the moat looks like from inside the enclosure. I thought that was a kind of a nice thing to show right there. And here we kind of get to the last viewing area. This is very similar to the first viewing area we saw, but this is of the second exhibit, which is a lot bigger than the first one. I'm not sure what the vision is of the bears among these habitats. I think they have 3 bears, at least according to the Zootierliste they do. They should have like 1 male and 2 females. So if I had to guess, the male's probably alone in the separate enclosure, and they can combine it or something like that in case they want to breed or something. So here, one last education thing about the different bears of the world, if you can recognize the different bears. And yeah, we can see more of that cool fence, and then one last small viewing area over here which peeks into both enclosures, which is pretty neat. You got the left enclosure on the left and the right enclosure on the right. Very thrilling commentary there. Sick me, you're doing a great job. So that's pretty much it for the sloth bears. Only 3 exhibits, but in my opinion 3 very nice ones, very inspiring ones. So I hope you took some inspiration home from this, and I will see you in the next video.